Hello, all. Oh, it's so nice to see all these beautiful beings here with us. Welcome, welcome. Hi. Some of you I know, and some of you I don't. I'm sure more will probably be popping on in a bit. We're already recording, so I'm good. We're right just a minute before, and I'm just going to kind of give an overview of what we're going to do here and how this is going to flow. The last half moon call was our trial run, and I've felt a lot coming through since then that I didn't even realize why we were doing this, that is being revealed continually. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start with a little explanation of the space I've set and who I am and where I am. And then I'm going to open the floor and I'm going to talk about the guardians that have revealed to me during this preparation time before this call. And then I'm going to open the floor for each of you to say who you are, where you are, and what guardians the thought of guardians brings to you, whether you know your guardians, whether you have had an animal guardian come, or just the idea of what it means to be a guardian. Maybe you just, as a guardian for a child, to what that means to you, what being a guardian and honoring what is sacred means to you. So, and then we're going to go on a little journey into the field that I've created. And then when we come out of the journey, we'll share again. So that's kind of the way it's going to go. So I'm going to start off with sharing my screen because I want you to see my altar that I set up for this. And I just took a couple of pictures. So I'm just going to open up the pictures and show you. I didn't have them prepared because this was just in the last moments. So this is the altar I set up, and this stone here that maybe you can see the lamb on it. It's kind of a very pale blue. It's called hemimorphite, and it brings in the energy of a balance of the masculine and feminine energies. So uh, that stone wanted to be the lead of my altar, and we have the fire behind it in the candle, wrapped with copper fabric for transmitting the information that we have here today. The sage has a copper bowl with it. I made a tea that I have to drink that is blue lotus, baby rosebuds, and a little bit of lavender and some holy basil. And I have an Ankh mirror to remind us to look at ourselves. I have our Peace Production bumper sticker because we are going to make love go viral. And then I had two cards that I drew from Goddesses of the World. One is Nyang Nik, which is release the past, and the other is Astarte. And then there's a butterfly that came to us and gave its life inside our house. So we honor it on our altar. Okay, so did you all see that? Did anybody see what I shared? Did you? Yes, no? You did? Okay. Thanks. Okay, so my name's Mayana Kingery. I also, as you can see on the screen, I go by Mama Tink. My beloved is Papa Pan, and we are creating a tinkdom of artists in Everland. That's our mythology. It is, just a fun way to play. I want to honor this artwork behind me, which was created by Linda Buczynski, known as Linda Boo in Boise, Idaho, as one of the divine art teachers. And she made that for me, and she has a sister one that matches it. And it reminded me of our core of who we are, just really a lot being in the water of who we are. So these half moons are really to bring us into a realm where we can hold harmony and balance. First, we have to get balance. Balance is first. Before we can have harmony, we have to balance. And I think of it like a teeter-totter, you're to balance and you're both at the same level and nobody's playing, nobody's doing anything. You're kind of pausing. But then you want to play. You want to go up and down. And that's where the harmony comes in, that we can hold and create in the spaces between our beings. So we're all woven into the web of life. We're all a little gem in Indra's web. We're all a little stone in creation, a crystal, however you want to look at it. We are beings that are bound together through the web of life. And we are also bound with Earth's web of life, but we separated ourselves from it as a species. And we could go into lots of stories of how that might have happened. And I'm sure we all have our own ideas. But um, this is going to be an opportunity to bring our wisdom, our guardianship to the spaces in between us and to get big enough to hold us all in the whole world and hold each of us. The more of us who are participating, the stronger the field is by magnitudes of numbers. And we have 12 with us right now, which is a magical number. So we may start with this, we may add, whatever. So we are 12 right now. So I am in Stewart, Virginia, on the land of the Wolf Creek tribe of the Cherokee, stewarding a little piece of 2.3 acres. And I'm nearby to Boone, North Carolina, where Maharishi Mahesh Yogi built his facilities, and the Art of Living Foundation has their headquarters. And we go up there often. That is the mountain. When I go up to the mountain and pray, child, get up to the mountain and pray. That's where I go. So I'm going to open the floor and pass it around. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna set, I think I can set for um, everybody to have the same view. I'm not seeing that setting right now. Maybe I can't. Um, well, I'm just going to go down my list on the right, and it looks like it's alphabetical. Okay, so Adrian, would you like to tell us who you are, where you are, and who your guardians or what guardianship means to you?
Well, I'm Adrian. I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania. Um, Guardian. I think there's a lot of ancestors and stuff. Every once in a while, I'm tapped on the shoulder to remind me to listen to them, to take time, and I rarely do. But I have periodically in my life gotten the message that that I have a lot of helpers in the spirit world, and that I'm really forfeiting that by not taking time to hear.
Thank you. Ami. Is it Ami or Amy? Okay. Caroline is not going to speak today. She's not feeling well. That's okay. Would you like to share, Ami? Amy? Tell us how you say that when you find your unmute.
Unmute.
Yes.
I found it. I'm a little technologically challenged. Yes, it's Ami. I live in upstate New York, about an hour and a half from the gorgeous Adirondack Mountains. That the air there is just different to me. It feels like a very ethereal energy. Um, I've been a therapist for almost 30 years. I'm transitioning out of traditional therapy and building an online business in just life consulting and energy clearing, one-on-one sessions, a community, courses, blogs, things like that. My goal is to help everybody connect with everything on the planet is energy, and to be able to tap into, and really we can influence when we get our human out of the way and remember who we are at core, remember our essence and our power. We can, like we're coming together here, 12 of us or however many, that we can influence the energy on the planet with intention and mindfulness. And so I'm clear cognizant. I'm continually receiving messages from Source and the archangels and whoever might want to chime in at the time. So that's Ami in a nutshell.
Thank you, Ami. Carol B.
Hi, I'm in Renton, Washington, like it says. Guardians. So I have a team of angels who work with me and they're with me all the time. And these last few years, I'm still learning a lot, but I've been kind of doing a lot of clearing on the planet. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. A lot of what I'm here to do is to do that. Um, and I've been I know there's another door coming really quick here for opening more of that relationship with those angels, but I can see them. I know they've been with me all my life, but I'm starting to see them a little bit when I do journey work or meditation. I think I've always been a tiny bit afraid to see it since I was a kid, so that it's like they walk with this, spirit kind of make sure that you're comfortable. So I'm at the point of allowing that door to open a lot wider. But basically, yeah, they've been with me all my life, and I can see them in a circle around me. And I tend to find that I'm kind of the leader, which I'm not very conscious of yet, but I know that's where what the position I'm at. So it's kind of interesting. It's still opening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carol. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you for your presence. Yeah. Dominica, would you like to share?
As soon as I figure out how to unmute. Um, well, let's see. People are sharing a lot of their background more than I expected from our beginning talk, so I'll start with that. Um, I grew up in New England and I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for a long time. And now I am living in Port Townsend, Washington. Hello, Renton. And going back to how long we've sensed things, when I was a really young child, I remember having these vivid dreams, and I had them several times, in which I'm dreaming and this being enters my dream and he looks to me like a dwarf or something like that. And he's walking towards me and he's scaring me. And I say, stop. And he keeps walking to me. And I say, stop, get out of here. And he leaves. And I view that dream as a way that I learned early that there are times when I'm challenged and I have to try to claim my power. And when I can do it well, I claim my power. That said, who are my guardians? Well, um, Gaia, the great goddess of the earth, and um, the star beings. I view them as above and below as my kind of cosmic guardians. My personal guardians are grandfather, Mary, Diana, and Bridget. Grandfather looks kind of, I mean, and they're not, their images shift. They're not like intensely physical by any means. But grandfather looks a little bit like he's in blue robes and he reminds me of some of the Tibetan deities, but a beneficent one. And Mary Diana is kind of a goddess related image, and she just shimmers with all these different colors. And she's a helper and she has a great sense of humor. And Bridget is a strong, wise Celtic guardian. Then my animal gardens are crow, mountain lion, and fox. And they too have been with me forever. I don't think they necessarily need an explanation. They can mean anything for anyone. So I guess that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Dominica. All right. Let's see. Joanne Fawcett, would you like to share?
Sure, thank you. I am in Portland, Oregon, so hello, Washington people. I've been a bookkeeper for over 40 years, and I'm starting to let clients go so that I can retire and move on to other things I'm very passionate about. I've been on a long healing journey after a bunch of crappy marriages. So, my guardians have really helped me with that journey. And I would say that my guardians, I have a very large team of spirit guides, and I communicate with them on a regular basis. And my grandmothers have been helping me with the current book that I'm writing, so we can help, and their messages can go forward to empower future generations. And it's been a delightful process. But I also have a very witchy mentor guardian who's deceased, and a best friend who's deceased, and different elemental friends. I've got friends from the fairy realm all over me, or all around me. So that's wonderful. And then I would say my animal guardian is a raven, because they just show up, and they're going to be on cover. Well, they're on covers of two of my books, so the artist felt that was important. So, I'm moving out of bookkeeping work, and I know I have interesting work ahead of me, and I'm not sure exactly the form that's taking, but it's evolving, and I'm happy to be here because this will help me with all of that. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Joanne. All right. Let's see. Carrie Combs. Would you like to share, Carrie? Okay, we'll move on. Miria, maybe Carrie will come in later. Miria? Oh,
There we go.
there
I
she is.
I figured out how to turn that part on, just not the video, I guess, because I still don't see that. I'm Carrie Combs. I'm from a small town. It's Smyrna, New York. It's upstate New York. Everybody always thinks it's a city. No, no, no. I live in the woods. Um, Taught for all my life. So I've been in school all my life. Dropped out after COVID. It was way too emotional. I didn't know that I had my own social emotional wounds that I had to heal. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. And hanging with my grandkids. So yes, same thing, healing from past wounds, learning my own triggers. Never really thought of who my guides were. However, unfortunately for myself and my family, I was in a tree screaming to God a few years back. So I guess I would say my guide would be God. However, I follow the sun. Definitely need the sun. Heard turtle all my life, so I do believe I follow turtle. I'm intrigued with turtles and owls, so those would be my animal guides. And again, I guess my guide would be God, my mother who has already passed, the sunshine, um, things of that nature.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Yeah. Good to hear from you, Carrie. All right. Miria, would you like to share? Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Mirja, and I live in Helsinki, Finland. And I'm not sure if, for so far, everybody else is, nobody else is from Europe yet. So I don't know if there's anybody else from Europe. But I did live in Santa Cruz, California for 20 years, part of my life. And my family lives in Hawaii, my grandchildren and my daughter. I have three grandchildren that live in a big island of Hawaii. And being a Finnish person, we are very much in touch with the nature because it's all around us. And I have nature spirits, and I also have my ancestors. And I'm very much attached also my Buddhist teachings of White Tara, and also, yeah, and eagle and uh, Black Panther are one of my spirit animals, and a hummingbird.
Hmm.
So yes, so I will see that if there's anybody else from Europe, from anybody any place else beside from United States over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Miriam. Oh, Sandra. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh my God.
Oh,
It's been so long.
Mariana, I
Oh,
was so pleased to see this happening, and it's a
yeah.
pleasure to join this circle. What a beautiful circle of women sharing, and it's really good to see you, Mariana. It's
Good
been
to
a
see you.
while. Mariana and I go back about a year and a half. How long has it been? I don't
A
know.
year and a half. Yep.
Global grandmothers. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra, and I'm calling you from Stonington, Connecticut, where I just got home from being with my husband in New Haven. He and I have just returned from almost 3 months of travel, beginning in Israel and ending in Edinburgh, Scotland, because I had a play to do. I am a retired school teacher, a retired high school teacher, and theater artist. I've done theater all my life and taught it. And I wrote a play about what's happening in Israel, Palestine that I feel passionate about. And I took it on tour. And then there was a war, and we were canceled in Israel. But we stayed and we joined people in shelters for the 12 days of the Israel-Iran war, and my cousins on their kibbutz during that time. And I got to talk with Israelis. I got to talk with the head of the Palestine Museum in Edinburgh at the tail end of the trip because the play is a peacemaking effort as a Jewish person. That's my background. So I have been wrapped up in absorbing that almost 3 months experience of being in Israel first, and experiencing the damage from the ballistic missiles that came down during the 12 days we were there, and being with people who are traumatized from from the war, from um, being involved in a terrible war themselves, their sons, their husbands in the Gaza war. It's tearing that country apart, I believe, in some ways that our country is being torn apart. And it's concern for society that brings me to these circles and brought me to Global Grandmothers initially, because I think we each have a part to play in healing the world and in Tikkun Olam, which is the Jewish saying that one must heal the world, and you're not responsible for ending or finishing the task, but you are responsible for um, being some part of that healing in whatever way you can be. And I guess mine through my life is through education and through art. And I think that's all I'll say for the time being. Thank you so much. It's really good to be here. Good to see you, Mayana.
Thank you, Sandra. Really good to see you. Okay, Shelley. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you very much. I just got cozy again in my robe and everything, but I figured the grandmothers would be okay with that. Uh, you know how it is. Um, it's hard to describe me, but I'll try. I didn't have a plan in my life, so things came to me, and I see that as like the, guidance. So I was given tools when they weren't popular, like astrology and aromatherapy and energy work and Bach flower. I mean, it was just there it was, and I was drawn to it. I realized I had guides that were really good because then I looked back at my life and I saw the things that I've gone through safely, even. I said, they have to be there. And then at some point, I heard voice. And I'm very surprised that it's a male voice because, I would have expected, some female relative or something. I don't know who it is, but I know that in the moment where my attention must be grabbed and an impression must be made, that voice comes and tells me now or no or and it's very interesting. But I also have other influences because I was very drawn to Native American teachings. I was lucky enough to have Lakota teachers come. I was given the name White Owl by a Lakota chief because of those things I do, I think. He thought I had the medicine of the owl. And I'm here as a messenger, ultimately. And what was said before about maybe we can't finish it, but we're here to be an anchor. And I ended up at this point, because I've been living in a lot of places. I had a very Southern mother and a New York City father. All right, so I have all three of the major religions in the family, so I can relate to Sandra. And also I was raised as a Baptist. So I spent the first part of my life in the North, which I'm very grateful for, New York City, very grateful for that. But I am now in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains near Greenville, South Carolina, where I did not know I had ancestral lineage right around the corner from the friend that I came to visit in the graveyard was relatives. I didn't know this. I came to clear karma because I am on Cherokee also, Ayana. I think I'm like right south of you in Greenville area, South Carolina. It's like when you said Boone, and I went, okay, there's a line there. You're gonna hear me when I talk. um, I knew they were slave owners in my family, and I knew that we did the removal because there was a big farm here with the name and the roads that go to it. So I did that. One year I was gifted with knowing they were going to do, I didn't have to be there, and it was going to be in Georgia on Stone Mountain, and they were literally clearing karmic issues from both slavery and Indian removals, things like that. So this is what I mean, like things come to me. I need the tool, and there it is. I don't necessarily know the tool beforehand. And then I was gifted with an ancestor from my Celtic background, which I had never studied. And I wrote a trilogy which came all through her. And it's Druid Priestess Lifetime in Wales, which I didn't even know when I started this, that I had any Welsh lineage, but I found out later that I do. I mean, this is what I mean. It's hard for me to like figure out how or why, but I know that I felt I needed to come here today. I've been in connection with the God, the grandmothers, global grandmothers, but I haven't participated yet.
Hmm.
And it just felt like, I think we're between these eclipses and everything is so whacked out everywhere. I mean, there is no like really safe space, if you know what I mean, and you're bombarded every day. So I think that there's strength in numbers, and I think seeing who's here, I'm very happy that I decided to come here today. So thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Yes, we are right in alignment and in many ways. We can talk about all that later. Oh, I'm going to go to Victoria and then we'll bring Becky on. Hi, Victoria.
Oh, lovely to see you all.
Yeah.
Interesting, the synchronicities. Shelley, your varied background is like, oh, this all kind of plays in. I am on the land of the Shoshone Bannock. I was blessed with 6 acres 41 years ago on the 10-year plan, and here we are 41 years later. And it is a lovely piece of property that nurtures so much in me. And I had no idea. Raised myself very Christian. I've been channeling Archangel Uriel since I came into this life, and I have the gift of wisdom through Uriel. I do a lot of energy work. I'm a nurse by trade. Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. That is my handle that I play with, because with a name like Savage and being a nurse, I mean, you got to. I now do energy work, energy healing, and I teach people their divine energetic power. The one message that has come through since the beginning of the year from my guardians, angels, I have many as well. A couple Bengal tigers. I play with a unicorn. A white buffalo calf is by my side regularly, and owls also appear regularly. And I only latch on to who's present with me at any given time. And so I just ask for help from my guides, angels, companions, and I never delineate. It just doesn't seem to me like that's what I need to do. And so I live in the Gem Valley, which is right over the hill from the Treasure Valley. Crystal stones are very important in the healing work I do. But what has come through since the beginning of the year was, for us, the importance of doing us and healing ourselves. And selfish is the new black, because the truth is, I can't do anything for anyone else unless I have done myself, because then I have nothing to offer. And what I'm continually doing, as well, we all, which is one of the reasons we're kind of in this, oh my God, space right now, is we're sharing our energy continuously. So when I mind my own energy, I have then a higher vibration that I can share with the world, because we can't change that. And so that is really my calling, is to teach people. I do this in classes. I do it through retreats. I do it individual sessions, to help people understand the truth of who they are and the power that they hold in making the shift that we desire. And also the power we hold to keep us locked in what we don't want. And so that is my mission, is to really help people understand the power of who they are, and help help this world birth this new earth we are entering into. And I teach often because it was given. We are in that third stage of the birth process. And any woman who did it without meds all did the same thing. Went, I can't do this. This is too hard. This hurts too bad. We're there. And it is the us, these lovely souls here. And I feel so honored to be with this group that gets to really shepherd this birth process in and make it more gentle or more razor sharp. And so it is our focus. And I choose gentle. I choose more fun whenever I can choose more fun. And so that is me. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Thanks so much. Good to see you, girl. I lived where Victoria is. I lived in the Treasure Valley for many years also. And Suzanne, our founder, is living in Treasure Valley in Boise. So Becky, you came in a little bit late. You're the last one now. We're just sharing what it means to be a guardian and who our guardians are and where we are in the world and who we are.
That's a beauty topic. And I'm the 13th grandmother to show up late.
Yes, you are.
Sorry about that. So who we are, what, say that again, Mayana? I can't remember.
Who we are, where we are, and what guardians are present with us right now, or that we're bringing to this work for this, or what it means to be a guardian, however you want to share that.
Okay. Wow. Well, all I know is for me, I didn't really start to experience like health or great growth for just a couple years ago. Um, I had to drastically change my diet, get off the pharmaceuticals, and do a DMT trip, which seriously helped me, but also made me kind of go psychotic for a while I integrated everything that powerful stuff shows you, right? Like in there I saw my family lines going backwards like this. And I also saw this black snake intertwined in them on, like affecting generations. And I also saw like myself. I was looking at myself and I was looking in my pelvic area and I just kind of went so crazy and I just started pulling stuff like um representations of all of that guilt and shame and the shit that we go through. And I started pulling at it and pulling it and throwing it at the farthest reaches of space that I could manage. And then I just yelled. I could hear myself yelling in that trip. When I can clear out all this garbage and gunk, I can give birth to universes. Like that. Just yelled it real loud. That freaked me out. It took a long time to think about that, because who I am is just an ordinary, like, person who lives on the res in Ontario. I didn't get the kind of education I could have easily handled, and I went into addictions. I was like, I didn't go into drugs, but I was a damn alcoholic like every day for like a decade. And then things happened in my life, and I knew I had to snap out of that. So I did it on my own cold turkey, and my spirituality began to grow. But I have a sort of an irreverent sense, like I don't worship anything or anybody, but I have a relationship that I developed with these beings. I call them sky grannies because I was out there in the outer realm of Earth looking at Earth, and this is all my internal like meditation. And so I was plucking off the planet the things that I don't want here, like Harper rays and, um, all the destructive stuff. I was just plucking it off and throwing it away. And then I looked around and all of a sudden I saw that there were like uncountable numbers of these old women of all nationalities out there with me. And I call them sky grannies, and they're my guardians now. And they gave like if I need or want something, is what I say is sky grannies. Um, I need or want something, and I'm glad I already have it. Like I have to say, I'm that glad that I already have it, right? And then I just say thank you, and then I don't worry about it. And then next thing I know, like within a day, 2 days, a week, the exact thing I was requesting shows up. And I constantly always have faith that I'll always have my needs taken care of. So I don't worry about that. Um, I don't let bill collectors bother me. Because of all the corruption out there, we never should have been this poor or this oppressed by the modern lifestyle that puts us all in debt, makes it necessary to buy land and a house or whatever. I just live on the res in my little straw bale house. Pretty happy.
Oh,
And
well,
yeah, so I'm just whoever shows up at the moment.
well, so glad you showed up in this moment. Thank you,
Thank
Becky.
you.
As I was preparing for this call and in my inner space, that it always reveals to me things that I have to clear out of me to be able to hold something like this. And since the equinox or since the eclipse, what has been shown to me is how I self-sabotage and how I prevent myself from doing what I know good and well I need to do and want to do and will have joy doing. And somehow I stop myself in this way or that way. And this is one of the themes I feel like for this moment in time is all the ways that we're not doing what we know we need to do and want to do, and how we can hold a space together for that to happen for everybody in the world, all of humanity. That we here, 13 of us, we can be a seed that will billow out like the wings of a butterfly through the energetic fields, through the realms, through all the realms, not just one or two, all the realms. So in my journey, I in 2008 and 9, I was calling every new and full moon circle for Children of the Sun Foundation and leading the global calls and setting the tone, and one of 12 on a light team that held the energy and did the transmission. Well, now it came to me to do these half moons, but through that process, it has revealed how the power works in the realms of the imaginal realm, the ethers, the astral realm. There are lots of different places. The emotional, electromagnetic, that is our emotional and physical connection to each other. We are bound together I was called to a council once. Grandmother Spider had become one of my guides and she scared me really bad at first because she's that great big huge spider and I thought she was going to eat me up. and and then her gentleness came through and and I'd spent some time with her through the years. And then one day in a meditation, I'm called to this council, and there's this judge and this accuser, and grandmother Spider is going to get annihilated or something because she's been weaving patterns that are unhealthy for humans. And I was like, wait a minute. No, she was enslaved. They made her weave patterns. Women have been enslaved, and that includes nature. Nature was enslaved. And I stood up for her and I said, no, that is not so. And whoever the judge was, it was a man, whoever that judge was, said, okay, Grandmother Spider, you are freed. We can see that this is true. Go unweave all of that was woven in patterns of domination and suppression. Unweave that and reweave the new. So these last years have been the unweaving. And those little tiny knots that are still there in those places of power can dissolve when we hold the right frequency. And this is what we want to do today. So I'm going to invite you to just come deep down into the center of your heart. Take a deep breath with me. And imagine you're a little teeny tiny you sitting in the base of your heart, in the root of your heart, in the darkness of the womb of the feminine of your heart. Just one breath at a time. Just being in your own self, just you, in your heart. And as we settle into that place individually, there goes out a tone that each of us hear from the center of our heart in that space. The center of the center of the center of the center as we get smaller and smaller and smaller and go into the quantum, the imaginal, the non-physical space. It's just space, and it's just empty right now, except for our little spark of light. But a tone goes out, and we resonate with the other lights here in this gathering. Wherever we are on the world, and in this process, I want to really honor Miria for the strength that she has to be present with us and hold the other side of the planet. I want to bless her in that. And I invite you all to send her love from your heart to her heart as one heart. And as we are in this space and as we think of that action, our hearts are drawn together and we merge together and we become a node of light. And a beam of light transmits out of us. And a wave of frequency goes out from us, from the core one that we are. Boom, boom, boom. That, and I'm sure you didn't feel that as a blow up or anything. It was an immersion and a pulsing of the love that we are. And each of our own individual intentions, each of us and our own frequencies and guardians and all that is surrounding and infusing all that we all are. And we hold this world now, the whole earth and the space around her, held between our hands at our heart level, the earth and all of the realms and beings within and through and around her, and humanity as a species, connection to her, and humanity as an evolving species whose connection to her is changing and solidifying and strengthening as it nourishes each of us individually and everyone collectively. Take a deep breath and just sit in this space and experience what you experience for a few moments in the silence. And after a while, we'll come back together. Children of the earth tribe, rise up. Children of the earth tribe, rise up now. Children of the earth tribe, rise up. Children of the earth tribe, rise up now. Some say namaste. Some say ahom ataquiasan. Some say om. Some say shalom. We all call Mother Earth our home. Protect her. Respect her. Please don't neglect her. Let's breathe together. Breathe deeply through your nose. Feel the change in the space around us. I feel a fluidity, or that it went from like a spark of light to a fluid, liquid flow. And if anyone feels to share in any moment, you're welcome to unmute yourself and share. Let's stay in this swirly space as we do, though. I invite you to leap across time from the transition of birthing to holding the child in your arms. It's all done. My heart feels the strengthening of every other heart that's not actually on the call, but knows about the call and knows about the intent and joins their hearts with us. And in that also, I feel Heather in Egypt, for she knows we're on the call now. This grandmother Flor de Mayo's daughter that we're working with on Guardians of the Sacred, the event that will be in New Mexico in November. She's in Egypt at the Isis temples and the pyramids, holding that frequency of the past. And I feel a releasing of the past, like it's been held down. And when we free the past, the real past, what's really true, it joins with our future for flourishing.
I felt a great deal during this journey we took in my physical. In my clairsentience, there was a great deal of energy stuck. Um, and as I always do, I first think it's mine, and then I realize it's within our group. And one of them is the energy of betrayal that has happened in our past lives, in our ancestors. And as you started to sing and I drew us in together, the symbolism when you started talking about Heather was the spiral, and the spiral of taking that energy off of us and casting it to the light. I always send energy to the light because I don't want to give any more of that to Mother Earth, and the light can transmute it into whatever its next destination is. And then the unforgiveness that was held about that betrayal was the next energy that um, became apparent to me that we were holding. And so I sent that to the light. And then there was a great deal of blocked energy in the throat of us. And again, that ancestral, the past life, all playing into the betrayal that had happened to us for speaking our truth. And that is now gone. And we can safely speak our truth and be more of that energy of change that we choose by our focus.
Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate that. I feel that in my throat. And before this call, I was really feeling my throat. I had a cramp in my throat. And I could, I was on a Zoom and look just with myself getting things ready. And I could see other beings coming out through that. And especially like my throat, it was like it was hollow all the way through. And I often cough in times of trying to speak my power and speak my truth. And this call is really, I take that in my own self as how I was affected by what you shared. Yeah, validate that. Someone else like to share?
Well, when you said the truth of the past, okay, that's what the ancestor brought through for these Celtic demonized women who were, why I never wanted to look at the Celtic backgrounds I had was because I believed the stories being told. And so I avoided that. And then there it was on me, and I just had to take it down. And it really helped heal me. And I think when people are drawn to it, it gives them their power, their priestess power back. And so I loved that connection to the Isis temples, which were all over. I mean, I think there was an Isis temple under where they put Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Discovered it. I mean, it was everywhere, and it's coming. The truth is coming out now.
Yeah, thank you. Joanne?
When I work with my spirit guides, they keep talking about the new paradigm on Earth and stuff. And I thought, well, you're the only people who are saying it that way. But now, I'm joining you guys and hearing all about like rebirthing and stuff, which is just another way of saying what they've been telling me. And it's really nice to be among people who understand that and get that and know the importance of that. And it's like, whew. It's like, it's really lovely. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling a rush for anybody to share. Just the presence is lovely, and you're welcome to share if you want. Oh, I feel to show you my necklace here. I found this at a gem show in Utah. It's Mediterranean coral and Tibetan turquoise with shell and garnet and brass. And when I touched it, I knew it was mine. I had worn it before. So I put on all of my Egypt stuff, my Egypt dress. I put on all my Egypt stuff to honor the connection across the world today. Hmm. I would love for us to watch the world in between now and the next call and just notice any changes that you see because this is powerful and this does change the program that emerges as form. I look at it as the hologram that then becomes physical. the quantum that programs the chemical and electromagnetic that we are. And I think probably there are so many here from North America because North America right now is the place where the trauma is emerging from because we were built on a false foundation. And that foundation has crumbled, and the truth has to come to light. And it was the grandmothers who were removed from that story. They our founding fathers took from the Iroquois Confederacy their constitution and ignored the grandmothers and the women who had all the power and authority to say what would happen because they knew those boys. They raised those boys. They knew who could be a chief and who should not ever get near that. The grandmothers know, and we can see it in our lives. We can see it in those around us. And we can have compassion on every single one of them because we can see their child and we know how they're broken and we know what got them there. And sometimes we really do have to say, it's time to go to your room. Shut up, sit down and shut up. It's really sometimes we do have to do that with children so they learn. Victoria, sure.
In the bringing together of the grandmothers, another big theme that has come through is forgiveness of self, because there's a lot that we've not really done right well. There's no playbook for our life. We just come in and we start walking and hope we do it okay. And those of us who knew in some way we had missions, which all of us, the light workers that are here, it's what I call anybody that would be doing anything like this, is a light worker. We want to bring in more of that. But we have fallen, we have failed. And until we truly forgive ourselves, again, we're hampered a bit in what we do. And like, let our humanness be okay and, own with integrity. Somebody here had to do that in the last couple of days. Yeah, admit the humanness came through and I did not behave in the way of integrity that I choose to most all the time. And allowing that, it's like, yep, screwed it up. Sorry, please forgive me. But more so us, because we're the ones that really are going to block ourselves. We're the ones that are going to think we're not good enough. We don't have. And it's like we have exactly what we need for this lifetime doing what we're doing now. Our experience is so different from one another, and yet so unified in the why we came. This lifetime's a big one. We chose to step into this crazy that is the world now because we are the light show, the way showers, the light workers, the lovers that this world needs. But we have to love us first and enough to go, oh yeah, didn't quite do all that right. Yep, screwed that up a little bit. Wow, this being human is kind of rough. I'm going to give me the grace I give all of you. And that's a powerful thing to do for ourselves and a powerful thing to do for the world in that.
Our theme for the magazine this month is Kalina, our editor, will be the featured grandmother, and she's Kintsugi woman. So Kintsugi is the theme, and Kintsugi is the Japanese art of taking something that's been broken and mending it with gold so it becomes more beautiful. And this is what we've done with our lives, or we wouldn't be on this call right now. This is who we are. And there's still a couple of days if anybody wants to submit an article. Kalina will, this week is when she's putting together the magazine. And I also want you to know that we're creating a special edition of the Grandmother's Magazine with Grandmother Flor de Mayo I don't know if most of you may know Florida Mayo. If you don't, she is one of the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. There were 13, there are now 6 still living, and she is one of those. And Global Grandmothers Council Network has been invited to co-create their Guardians of the Sacred event in Arizona. So this I called the half moon calls before we were invited to participate in that. And then I knew why we called these calls, because we have to be guardians of the space so this event can happen. And yes, Becky, I do hope you get to be there. I think that would be lovely for you to join us there. And we'll be able to present the Global Grandmothers in a council on stage. It's a casino in New Mexico and that gives really good rates. And it's going to be a real powerful thing with grandmothers and elders from all over the world. North, south, east, west, everywhere. Might have some Rinpoches there, and it's just really going to be how guardians coming together. So we here in this call and in these actions, we are preparing the way for this big change that's coming and holding the space for that to actually happen. For the all of the energies to be cleared away, whatever needs to be healed or moved out of the way, like you were talking about, Victoria, that we, with our intentions and our hearts, do that here, that will get Kelly Springer and my beloved and myself to New Mexico. And Becky Big Canoe has offered to go and have a real contingency. Tickets will be coming up for sale to attend. And we are launching a Sacred Guardians auction. And the way this came to me was that I have items that I've held sacred, that I have carried with me with purpose and care. And I know we all have items. And if we would trust the divine to allow the energy to move around the world of our sacred items to go to another circle, to go to another hands to guard, that we would put our items up in the auction and trust that whoever is called to bid on them are the one that it's to go to. It will be a challenge in that we need to have European auction items as well as North American auction items, because there's no mail between Europe and the US right now. You can't send a letter. So we have to be, and everybody has to be able to ship their items. So we have to say, okay, I can ship this to only the US, or I can ship this anywhere in Europe. So we need to come together, all of us, with our sacred objects, and we're going to raise money for the Guardians of the Sacred. We're sharing half and half with Grandmother Florida Mayo and Global Grandmothers. So I invite you. There's an event on Facebook for that, and there's a submission link in that event. It's called Sacred Guardians Auction. And we've created a couple of groups. We have a group now for events, for grandmother events. If you have anything that you're doing, you're welcome to post in Global Grandmothers events. And we have Global Grandmothers Magazine as a separate group. And I have a Zoom call coming up on, I believe, the 18th. Let me just look here. Thursday, the 18th, where we're going to talk about groups. Because maybe we need to, we now have a German contingency in the German language. The 75 women have signed up into that group with Vera Bartholome and Jetta Westfalen are leading that effort to start gathering in German. And we could have the groups all over the world. We have joined forces with Learn with Grandma. They have 50 groups all over the world with 50, in different languages. So let's not let the US be the only or the main focus of Global Grandmothers Council Network. We are global. And I can understand how it's hard for people to want to only be with United States people because it's a whole globe, and sometimes our perspective is not as broad as other global perspectives could be. I know I was raised in fundamentalist Christianity. Lots of other countries weren't. Lots of people weren't. And there are indigenous people all over the world. We could have a Spanish speaking group. Lots of things we could do. So I'm going to have a Zoom where we're going to talk about groups. If you have an interest in joining or leading another group, we need leaders. We need leaders. We need people to step up and say, this is my heart. Yes, I'm with you. How can I bring my gifts forward? And then that would be for you to say what you can do and what you would bring. It's not up to me to say, oh, we have all these openings. No, that's not how the grandmothers work. You bring yourself to the table. And I say, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Who are you? What do you do? Oh, let's do it together. That's what we've done, Victoria and Sandra. We've been doing that. Sandra stepped up and said, oh, I can interview grandmothers. And she lovely. All of our previous content on YouTube in our playlists. We have a YouTube, if you haven't been there, Global Grandmothers Council Network on YouTube. We have Tending Our Roots, which had 10 grandmothers over the winter. Now I know why we did Tending Our Roots, because we had to prepare for where we are now. And so all of those videos are going to become premium content for members. We're going to put the magazine behind a paywall. We're going to ask people to be members to get the magazine, and it's going to go out to all of Grandmother Florida Mayo's people, all of the people she's bringing in all over the world, as each one of them, all of her featured guests will be featured in the magazine, and there's advertising opportunities. And so if you have an event coming up and you want the whole world to know about it, you can advertise it in the magazine in October 12th. I think that issue comes out. So, if let us know. And if you're watching this video later, you too. You too.
Mama T,
Holly,
can you
yeah.
say again where I can find the information on donating something to the auction? That I've got a beautiful quartz crystal cluster that homed itself with me temporarily, but the energy of it's never been mine. And it's when you
Get it.
said that, I was like, oh, that's where you're supposed to go. So I need to know where to mail that.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do an online auction, which you can find the form to upload the pictures and description on Sacred Guardians Auction. It's an event by Global Grandmothers, so it will be in our events if you look at events in the group. And there's a link where you can upload that information and then figure out what it would cost you to ship it. Include that in your price, and there's a way to tell us what that shipping cost is, because we'll reimburse the shipping cost.
I was just going to donate it to the auction. I
Well,
didn't
we'll
know it
let you
was
do that.
like for
We'll let you
profit.
do that too. But some people can't afford to ship it. So we will
Gotcha.
offer to reimburse shipping costs when necessary.
Okay.
And yeah, so
I'll
the
look for that
auction,
Sacred Guardians auction in the grandmother's group.
yes, and the auction will actually be held October 14th through the 26th. So we have about a month to gather items. and get it put together. So
All right,
appreciate
thank you.
all the donations. Yeah, thanks.
How do we donate to help you get to the conference?
Oh, you can go to our website and go to the donate page and make a donation.
Okay,
That would be lovely. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Globalgrandmotherscouncil.org. Click on donate.
Thank you.
And we use Zephy for all of our donations are on a Zephy form. Zephy is a website out of Canada that pays the Stripe fees.
Oh,
We get
nice.
the full donation. They pay all of the electronic transaction fees and send us the full amount. So our donation page on the website is that. Our auction will be that. We don't have to give percentages to Give Butter or any of those platforms. So that's really exciting. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
I like to still say something. It's late over here, so it's past 11 p.m. over here in Finland. Still in my dream is that one day we would gather all these 56,000 grandmothers and see what kind of power we would have between a meditation to bring a peace into this earth and healing this earth. And this is what my ancestors are asking for me and the ones who have passed away. So, I come from Finland, next to Russian border, uh, less than 100 miles from Russian border. We have had war right next to ours. And I was born right after the Second World War. And yes, I know most of you don't have understanding what it is to be underneath the bombings and things like that. But my mother went through those, and there are people right near us, also in Palestine and Israel and all that. And it's happening all around, but it's closer to us, to me now, than is any of you who've been speaking over there. So, yeah, that is my message from my ancestors. And I keep, I got these messages, they came already before COVID, and been trying to reach different women's groups, and especially women from America because they are more active in YouTube. But everybody's just, they want to do their own thing, and they don't see my dreams. So I'm kind of well, I'm hopeful about future, but at the same time, I'm a bit sad about it too, because and I do understand that because my ex-in-laws, they were American, and when I was talking to my ex-husband's mom, she didn't understand how my mother felt about the war, and how she thought it was the same when you send the guys over there to fight and the man, but it's not the same.
Mm-mm. I would
So
I would say to you, Maria, that
yeah.
my vision, I've done several global medicine wheels where we each individual becomes like an acupuncture point and we align in time on
Mhm.
Earth with time and intention. And we will be having watch parties and a global medicine wheel that to align with the event Guardians of the Sacred. And we will be inviting individuals to put their time and intention there. We'll be inviting watch parties where you can gather in your community with your friends and watch live. And there will be those opportunities will be coming out. Grandmother Flor de Mayo's daughter Heather, that's in Egypt, is working on her website today from Egypt to get all the links and to bring it together. So she's doing that work, and I'm doing the global grandmothers part to bring all of this to you. So maybe more than 12 will come to a call. Maybe these 56,000 women will feel that urge like we did in the beginning when everybody came into the group. Well, let's get that momentum again. And we have a lot of conversations with our moderators in the group. A lot of people, they join the group, but they don't necessarily come in and pay attention in the group. But, there's a lot of content that has to get weeded out because we don't allow news and we don't allow one political ideology over another.
Mhm.
And the US is pretty combative with that right now. And we need content. We need good content. We need inspiring content. We need, hey, who in here will, has this kind of thought? How can we talk about it? So this is why we're looking at creating other groups within the group, that there could be groups around subjects. We could have a group for United States politics. There's sure we could do that. We could have a group for all these different subjects. We could have a group just for children, just about things for grandmas that are just working with children. And maybe the whole 56,000 people in one space is good for general, but we need to get more specific in some areas. And maybe that's by location and maybe it's by subject. So we're inviting and exploring. Let me know what you think and what your heart's called for. With the auction, again, we did the Tending Our Roots 10 days. While we do the auction, we're going to go live every day. And I just said that out loud for the first time. So, so anyone who wants to participate in that, I also have the grandmother that started Learn with Grandma. Oh, forgive me, Veronica. I believe Veronica is her name. Said she's available every day. She can be live every day with me. So we're gonna do that. We'll just be on StreamYard. We'll go live or on Zoom and encourage people to participate day after day. We're only running the auction 12 days, I think it is. So we'll need people to share it with their friends and get people to buy things, not just donate. So we're asking the grandmothers to donate.
Anything,
What?
there's no mail between Europe and United States.
Right. No mail. So we need things that will only go to Europe. Things that'll only be in Europe can be bought at the auction and shipped to Europe. They don't have to have anything to do with the United States. And each post will say, I'm willing to ship here. So every item that's uploaded, they'll say, okay, I can ship it to the United States. I can ship it to this country or that country. I'm willing. And we don't expect shipping from Europe or to Europe from the United States. So if you get to that form and something's not clear, please let me know and I'm glad to edit and clarify anything, any messages, anyone that has ideas, open, willing, and welcoming. Thank you all so much for your presence. And if anyone has any closing remarks, would anyone like to close us out? Then here we go in silence. Peace to us all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.